The first known reference of stepping out onto a red carpet appeared in Agamemnon, when his wife Clytemnestra welcomed her husband home from battle. As he stepped off of his chariot, she called to their servants, "Make haste, carpet his way with crimson tapestries, spread silks before your master's feet." And so our obsession with walking on a red carpet began. Hollywood first rolled out the red carpet at the 1920 premiere of Robin Hood, starring Douglas Fairbanks, at the Grauman's Chinese Theater, today a symbol of old Hollywood glamour and movie stars. For decades, being invited to step out onto a red carpet has meant something magical. That you were part of the elite few who were successful enough or famous enough to be celebrated. It became synonymous with making it in Hollywood. As a drama kid growing up in New Jersey, the red carpet played a prominent role in my childhood fantasies. Oh, I could see my name in lights as I arrived at the Hollywood premiere of my wildly successful film. I always had a larger-than-life personality. I sought out opportunities to be seen and to be heard. I would organize the neighborhood talent shows and cast myself in the lead roles. What could I say? I was born a Leo in the year of the tiger and a middle child. I couldn't help it. I honed my skills in high school plays and teen pageants. Oh, I could sing "There's No Business Like Show Business" while swinging a cane and doing an elaborate tap dance simultaneously. I had a plan, and I had a defined path to get there. While applying for colleges to study theater, I remember so vividly sitting in an auditorium full of hopefuls and their parents during an info session at a New York City conservatory, and we were listening to the speaker tell us how challenging the acting industry is, that by the statistics, chances were maybe one person in that entire room would have even the slightest chance of making it in the industry. And in that moment, I knew I was the one she was referring to. Oh, I knew I was going to make it big, and nothing and no one was going to stop me. Red carpet, here I come. I thrived at college. Oh, I loved taking acting classes every single day. You know, I had never stepped foot before in the state of Illinois, but I came here on a hunch, believing that there were big things ahead for me. So I spent 4 years soaking in every bit of knowledge I could. And then my best girlfriend and I, we started our adventure in New York City. And shortly thereafter, we packed up everything and we drove across the country to move to Hollywood, the land of dreams, in search of our red carpet adventures. I did everything I was supposed to do. Oh, I sent out my headshots. I took acting classes. I attended casting director workshops. I got myself a pager. Remember those? And I waited for it to beep and waited and waited. It didn't take me long to realize that in Hollywood, I was an average, attractive, curvier, brown-eyed brunette with some decent acting skills and zero industry connections. I was a dime a dozen. Sooner or later, you start to realize how subjective of an industry theater and acting is. I mean, you are literally waiting for someone else to determine if you are right for the role or the project, if you are pretty enough or talented enough or tall enough or short enough or thin enough or sexy enough to be considered. Still, I persisted. I did what I had always done. I organized the neighborhood talent shows. Only this time I was producing local theater. I was producing and acting in short films. I was living in Southern California. I mean, I was living the dream. The dream, however, was also supposed to include a silver screen-worthy romance that ended in 2.5 kids and a happily ever after. This emotion junkie was in search of her Hollywood co-star. And then I found him, the one. the one I was meant to be with. And in a complete twist of irony, he was not in Hollywood. No, the one I was meant to be with had been right under my nose all along. He was the first boy I dated back at the University of Illinois, who had broken my heart when I was 18 years old, and who had remained one of my best friends for the past 16 years. He was the one. He knew it. Our friends knew it. Our parents even knew it. The only one who didn't seem to know it was me. He had been in the just a friend category for so long. I was really waiting for something else to come along. And then one day, on a business trip to California, he came to visit. And it was literally like the clouds parted and the angels sang. And then I knew it too. And 12 months later, I married my best friend. The only problem was, he still lived 2,000 miles away in Champaign, Illinois, where he had completed his PhD and built his research and development company. This moment was my crossroads. As far as I knew, there weren't too many movie premieres in East Central Illinois, right? Could I really give up my dreams of making it in Hollywood? But I did get the epic love story I wanted. It really could have played out on the big screen. So I packed up my life, I said farewell to my California dreams, and I moved back to Champaign, Illinois, where everything had begun 16 years prior. Surely I wouldn't miss Hollywood that much, right? But there were reminders everywhere of what I had given up. Friends I had taken acting classes with appeared on the TV screens in my gym, in some national commercial, or guest starring on an episode of Law and Order. Actor friends I knew from my university days would go on to have really successful careers, a few who even became household names. I tried not to let it bother me too much, but as I drove every morning to my soul-draining job, I could feel the dreams of stepping out onto a red carpet one day start to fade away. My biggest struggle came when a girl that I knew pretty well was nominated for an Academy Award. And I remember looking at the front page of the newspaper displayed on the rack in a Walgreens in my small college town in Illinois, and I looked at the photos of them standing on the red carpet, and I fell into despair. I looked down at my t-shirt and my sweatpants and my sneakers, standing on a worn tile floor, and I knew I had failed. I was a failure. In that moment, I knew I was never going to have that experience that I dreamed of. That evening, I called one of my best friends, my longtime childhood friend, and I shared with him my defeat. That's what the voices were telling me in my head. I had failed. And he told me exactly the words I needed to hear. My darling, he said, wherever you go, there will always be a red carpet beneath your feet. I know, right? He's a really good friend. But he did stop me from crashing and burning that night. I tried to come to terms with what I believed I had actually given up. Was it just the chance to perform again? Or was it the validation from others that I was worthy of that honor? Or did that red carpet symbolize something more? I challenged myself to look deeper. Now, while that red carpet moment may have seemed like an end goal, what if it was merely a stepping stone to something even greater? Yes, the carpet would give me the acclaim and the status to have influence, but I considered what would happen next when I stepped off the red carpet. That's what I was truly after. I reflected on why I wanted to become an actor in the first place. To tell stories, to create magic, to inspire people to feel deep human emotions, to take that power and that influence and make the world a better place. What if I could find a different path to get to the same destination? I had been busy burying myself in a high-stress job, mommying my two incredible, beautiful baby girls, going back to school to get an MBA. I rarely talked about the decade that I lived in Hollywood because I knew if I did, I would eventually have to get to the part of the story where I quit, where I didn't make it. So I buried myself in other passions like community service and volunteering. I had heard rumors about this new live show called That's What She Said. It was created by 3 local women. It was designed to bring the community together and to empower women to stand proud and share their stories. Wow. By the time I heard about this very first show, it was already sold out. What could have captivated the women of my smallish community to purchase tickets to an event like this? I sought out the women who created it, and I offered my services. They welcomed me. And in the 3rd year of the production, I started directing the women in these live shows. I was on fire. I was sharing my talents, helping these women prepare to stand on the stage, some of them doing this for the very first time in their lives. I learned that I was kind of good at editing and polishing stories. I got to put my big girl producer panties back on and produce new shows and launch them in new communities. I found my calling. I found a place where I could inspire others to feel deeply, to embrace the power of vulnerability, to find healing through storytelling. I get to wake up every morning and know that I matter. I work with these women, I hear their incredible stories, I make new friends, I make new connections. I get to be a valuable part of this community that I was planted in against my will. I blossomed. You guys, I get to organize the neighborhood talent shows. Over the last 9 years, I have empowered hundreds of women to stand in their power, and teen girls to stand up and be loud and proud and share their stories live on stage. At every That's What She Said show, we set up a step and repeat banner, just like at the Hollywood movie premieres. And at every show, I take a selfie with my feet on the carpet, in the frame, standing on a red carpet. Not because someone else told me I was worthy enough to make it, because at every show that I direct and I produce, I roll out my own red carpet for me to stand on. Thank you. A few weeks ago, almost 15 years to the day that I left California with my new husband, I was invited to attend an event in Los Angeles to represent Champaign-Urbana in a celebration of remarkable women from across the country. And at this VIP, star-studded event, I was invited to step out onto a big red carpet. Okay, at this event it was purple, but it was a big purple carpet in front of the Grauman's Chinese Theater, just a stone's throw from the Hollywood sign. In recognition of the work that I do for women in my community and everywhere, I was given an official star from the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This moment feels so much more real than any fleeting red carpet moment. Who knows if I had stayed in California pursuing my dreams, if I would ever have gotten a chance to experience something like this. But I chose to leave. I chose love. I chose to remain true to my end goal of making the world a better place. I just found a different path to get there. And now, everywhere I go, there is a red carpet beneath my feet.